Just, the fire in my heart, being from my mom and my dad separating and divorcing at 8 years old.
Behind a quiet gate in Danville, California, stands a multi-million-dollar mansion. The garage isn't for parking, it's a showroom of power. Champagne comes and goes, but bottles branded with the E40 name are poured daily. On paper, E40 is said to be worth about $10 million, but numbers can't capture what he's built over nearly 3 decades. This isn't about hit records or stage lights. This is the real E40 empire. Quiet, calculated wealth heavy enough to outlast and outgrow an entire era of rappers who once felt untouchable. Earl Taiwan Stevens was born November 15, 1967, in Vallejo, California, far from the American dream. Vallejo lived and died by the Mare Island Naval Base. When funding dried up, so did jobs, stability, and opportunity. Crime rose, and the city slipped into decline throughout the 70s and 80s. Earl's home reflected that struggle. His parents divorced early, leaving his mother to raise 3 kids without steady work. She took whatever job she could. Comfort wasn't part of the household vocabulary. No one taught Earl business or investing. Life did. He learned early that without money, you have no choices. That lesson shaped everything. While others spent to show success, Earl saved because he remembered having nothing. Hip-hop didn't enter his life as a dream. It arrived as a blueprint. At around 12 years old, hearing Rapper's Delight sparked a realization. This wasn't just music, it was income. To Earl, hip-hop was a system that paid. He began playing drums in elementary school, treating music like a skill, not a fantasy. By high school at James J. Hogan, while others played sports, Earl and his siblings recorded songs, duplicated tapes, and sold them hand-to-hand in their neighborhood. Simple exchanges, cash for sound, but those moments built the foundation of a career rooted in ownership, hustle, and control. In 1985, Earl Stevens left Vallejo for Grambling State University in Louisiana, chasing the idea of college. But the reality didn't match the dream. Surrounded by unfamiliar classrooms, he quickly realized higher education wasn't his path. After 1 year, he walked away, not in defeat, but with clarity. His future wouldn't be built on a degree. Back in California in 1986, Earl reinvented himself as E40, a name pulled straight from street culture and the 40-ounce bottle. He didn't move alone. He formed The Click, a tight family unit with his sister Sugar T, his brother D-Shot, and cousin B-Legit. While others waited on industry approval, E40 created his own lane, launching Stick With It Records in 1990 and betting on independence. That bet paid off. In 1992, Down and Dirty landed on the Billboard R&B/hip-hop chart, an unheard-of feat for an independent Vallejo crew. A year later, Captain Save-A-Ho ignited controversy and spread nationwide, going viral before the internet had a name. The breakthrough came in 1995 with Game Related, peaking at number 3 on the R&B/hip-hop chart and number 21 on the Billboard 200. E40 proved that with structure, ownership, and family, music could become a dynasty. Vallejo had arrived on the national stage. After 2001, the Click disbanded with No Longer Made Noise, and each member branched off. But E40 had already secured his foundation. His solo run wasn't flashy, it was durable. Starting with Federal in 1993, he built a fiercely loyal Bay Area following. By 1994, he signed with Jive Records, becoming one of the first West Coast rappers to cross into a major label deal without surrendering control. In 1995, In a Major Way, featuring Tupac and Spice One, cemented his commercial power. What followed was a relentless run through the late 90s, producing gold-certified albums like The Hall of Game, The Element of Surprise, and Charlie Hustle. E40 wasn't chasing moments, he was building longevity. What sets E40 apart is simple. He never relied on one massive moment to survive. He moved consistently, releasing albums, feeding his fan base, and keeping ownership. While others burned bright and disappeared, E40 built slowly. forcing new generations to eventually look back. By 2006, as many rappers from his era had faded, E40 signed with Lil Jon's BME Recordings and Warner Brothers. The result shocked the industry. My Ghetto Report Card debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the top R&B/hip-hop albums chart. It proved that a man over 40 could still shape the culture. The single "Tell Me When to Go" became the Bay Area's anthem, introducing E40 to an entirely new generation through the sound of hi-fi. This wasn't a comeback, it was confirmation. Moving steadily with vision lasts longer than sprinting without direction. E40's solo career is a masterclass in accumulation. Not a flash in the pan, but a sustainable empire, still standing strong after 30 years. E40 was one of the first West Coast rappers to sign with Jive Records while keeping full creative control and massive advances. With over 20 albums and ownership of most of his masters, he earns an estimated $2 to $3 million a year in passive streaming royalties alone. A feature costs $25,000 to $50,000, and live shows range from $40,000 to $75,000 plus, numbers he's repeated for decades. That income could build neighborhoods, but music was only the launch pad. What truly set E40 apart was business. While many peers spent fast, he invested early and strategically. In the 1990s, he quietly bought into Microsoft, becoming one of the few artists to benefit from tech's explosive rise. As the stock soared, his wealth multiplied without him stepping on stage. He later moved into franchising, signing a Wingstop deal in 2007 for steady, low-risk cash flow. Earlier ventures like Fatburger and a San Jose nightclub didn't last, but E40 exited quickly, cutting losses instead of protecting ego. His biggest win came with alcohol. In 2013, he launched Earl Stevens Selections, and in 2014 released Mango Scotto, an 18% sweet wine tailored to grown hip-hop fans. No luxury hype, no heavy ads, just culture, accessibility, and smart distribution. It became a top seller across multiple states, proving E40's real genius wasn't just rapping. It was making money work forever. Then came Function Red Blend, a name pulled straight from hip-hop slang, but positioned on store shelves as a serious product. While other rappers pop champagne bottles for one night in the club, E40's wine sells every day, all year long. Revenue from the wine business is estimated at tens of millions of dollars annually, turning E40 into a true alcohol mogul, standing shoulder to shoulder with names like Jay-Z and Diddy. The key to E40's wine success comes down to two weapons: distribution and loyalty. I am not selling wine, I am selling a lifestyle. He built his own distribution strategy, placing products in massive retail chains like Costco, Bevmo, and Total Wine. He turned millions of loyal fans into lifetime customers. Every time someone pours a glass of Mango Scotto, they are laying another brick in the mansion he owns in Danville. On paper, E40's net worth is often pegged at around $10 million. That number sounds fair until you understand money. It's a surface-level estimate that only counts what's visible and easy to track. It ignores the real engines of his wealth: wine brands, steady annual cash flow, real estate bought decades ago, and a music catalog and publishing that pays whether he records another song or not. That $10 million is what outsiders can see, not what he controls. E40's wealth isn't loud or flashy. There's no constant flexing, no trend chasing, no need for headlines. His power sits in long-held assets, quietly compounding. That kind of wealth, the kind no one can fully measure, is the most dangerous in hip-hop. To see how he really lives, look at his Danville, California estate. In 1996, while others were buying chains, E40 invested $625,000 into a 1-acre property in a quiet enclave where real money moves in silence. He built a 7,200-square-foot mansion with 5 bedrooms, resort-style pool, custom backyard, and a private basketball court. Nearly 30 years later, he's never sold or chased upgrades. He let time do the work. By 2025, the home is valued at $4.5 to $5 million, now one of the heaviest assets in his empire. After real estate, E40 moved into something even closer to the streets: cars. Not for loud flexing, but as a reflection of the lifestyle he's carried since day one on the West Coast. For E40, cars aren't toys, they're statements. In the world of elite automobiles, a few names symbolize absolute power. Rolls-Royce sits at the very top, and the Cullinan, starting around $350,000, is E40's daily driver. This isn't just an SUV. Under the hood is a massive 6.75-liter V12, delivering effortless power so smooth it barely makes a sound. Inside feels less like a car and more like first-class seating on a private jet. Hand-stitched leather, rare wood, polished metal, luxury without trying. If the Cullinan is power that moves anywhere, the Rolls-Royce Phantom is his throne. The Starlight headliner turns the ceiling into a galaxy, and the interior is pure royalty. The Phantom doesn't rush. It doesn't need to. Its presence alone lets everyone know the game is already owned. But don't mistake calm wealth for lost hunger. E40 still has the heart of a speed lover. That's where the Ferrari 488 Spider comes in, the drop-top built for Bay Area coastlines and open air. Its twin-turbo V8 pushes over 660 horsepower, launching from 0 to 60 in just over 3 seconds. When it roars, entire streets turn their heads. It's worth around $300,000, but the feeling behind the wheel? Priceless. Then there's the Ferrari 812 Superfast, one of the last naturally aspirated V12 monsters ever built. Nearly 800 horsepower, top speeds north of 210 miles per hour, a price tag well beyond $400,000. This isn't just a car, it's the final chapter of pure Italian mechanical art before the world goes fully electric. Not made for the masses, and exactly why it belongs in E40's garage. Alongside the modern machines, E40 has deep respect for the classics, and this is where he really separates himself from most wealthy rappers. He doesn't just collect old cars, he preserves West Coast culture. Every classic in his garage is a rolling time capsule, restored with intention and respect. Take the 1975 Chevrolet Caprice Classic. This car is pure California street history. Finished in deep black paint that shines like a mirror, it brings back the golden era of lowriders, when style moved slow and presence mattered more than speed. Every detail is dialed in, not rushed, not cheap. Then there's the 1963 Chevrolet Impala, an authentic lowrider, fully equipped with hydraulic suspension. Keeping cars like these alive isn't easy. It takes real knowledge, patience, and serious long-term investment. Add to that a lineup of classic box Chevys and Impalas, rebuilt with oversized rims, lowered stances, and sound systems powerful enough to turn a whole block into a stage. These aren't just cars, they're culture. And over time, they don't lose value, they gain it, because pieces like this are becoming rarer and more iconic every year. On the business side, E40 keeps it just as solid. His Cadillac Escalade Platinum, valued north of $100,000, is fully customized with luxury interiors and built to move teams, handle meetings, and carry operations on the go. Big, commanding, and impossible to ignore, it fits a boss who's been at the center of the game for decades. 40 doesn't buy cars to fill space. Every vehicle has a purpose, either pushing business forward or protecting the culture he's stood on since day one. The entire collection is estimated between $2.5 and $3 million, a serious number, but one that makes perfect sense for someone who's been building, not burning, for a lifetime. After all the money, assets, and power built over decades, there's still one thing E40 values more than anything else. Not the studio, not the boardroom, not even the multi-million-dollar garage. It's family, the quiet, unshakable foundation behind everything he's built. In a Hollywood world where fame often leads to chaos, E40 is a rare exception. His personal life has never been loud. No scandals, no messy breakups played out in public. Just stability. Something that almost feels like a luxury in the entertainment industry. E40 married his wife Tracy in 1991, long before the fame and the fortune, when his career was still being built brick by brick. More than 30 years later, they're still together. Not through flashy posts or public displays, but through consistency. Tracy stays out of the spotlight. She's never tried to play the role of the rapper's wife. Yet she's been quietly present behind many of E40's most important decisions. In interviews, E40 has hinted that this steady marriage helped him avoid the traps that have swallowed so many artists: ego, excess, and self-destruction. Together, they raised 2 sons, Earl Jr. and Amari. Both pursue music, but neither is pushed to live in their father's shadow. E40 didn't clear the path for them, he showed them how to walk it. His sons grew up learning patience, discipline, and the value of earning their place. For them, music isn't an inheritance, it's a choice. That reflects E40's mindset as a father. Success isn't about handing someone a crown, it's about teaching them how to wear it when the time comes. Surrounded by wealth, influence, and decades of success, E40 has protected something money can't buy: a strong, complete family life. And in the end, that may be his greatest achievement of all. After more than 30 years in an industry where scandals are almost expected, E40 has stayed remarkably clean. No prison time, no messy relationship drama, no public crash and burn. That doesn't mean tension never showed up. It means when it did, it revealed exactly who he is and how he moves. The clearest example came in April 2023, during a playoff game between the Sacramento Kings and the LA Lakers. In a moment that shocked fans nationwide, E40 was asked to leave the arena by NBA security while sitting in VIP seats. The headline wrote itself: "A West Coast hip-hop legend escorted out of a playoff game." According to the NBA, it started with a verbal exchange between E40 and another fan. What sparked controversy was simple. Only E40 was removed. Others stayed. And this is where his character showed. No yelling, no social media meltdown, no threats. He calmly said he felt he was treated unfairly. That was it. The response was immediate. The Sacramento Kings, along with artists and athletes across the culture, publicly backed him. Days later, the NBA clarified the situation. Instead of damage, E40 walked away with more respect, seen as someone who handled a public moment with dignity and restraint. That balance defines his entire career. E40 is known for speaking plainly, sometimes sharply. Over the years, he's made comments about younger rappers, short-term thinking, and artists who don't understand money. Clips of those interviews occasionally went viral, stripped of context, leading some to call him outdated or too rigid. But here's the difference. Those words never turned into real beef. No diss tracks, no drawn-out feuds, because people in the industry know the truth. E40 isn't chasing controversy. He's speaking as someone who survived 3 decades in a business that eats people alive. And the lack of scandals? That's not luck. It's discipline. He avoids chaotic party scenes. He keeps his family off display. He draws a hard line between work and private life. That means fewer flashy headlines, but it protects something far more valuable: long-term credibility. That quiet reputation is exactly why E40 can partner with major corporations, build a wine empire, and move like a real businessman. One major scandal could have erased that overnight. He never gave it the chance. Success gave E40 choices. One of the most consistent, giving back to the community that raised him. For him, charity isn't a PR stunt or a way to polish an image. He rarely takes a stage to announce donations. Most of his contributions are only known when someone else shares the story. Born and raised in the Bay Area, E40 never saw success as a ticket out. He saw it as a responsibility to return. From programs for underprivileged youth, to local scholarships, to educational and social support initiatives across the region, he shows up quietly. No fanfare, no performance. What sets him apart is how he gives. No trends, no hashtags, no flashy campaigns. He focuses on real, lasting impact, helping young people access education, supporting families through tough times, and keeping local programs alive. In the Bay Area, he knows consistency matters far more than a single headline-making moment. E40 also invests deeply in the next generation of artists. Unlike many big names who offers symbolic mentorships, he's hands-on. He opens his studio doors, shares hard-earned lessons about contracts, publishing, and money management, things many young artists learn too late after paying a steep price. To E40, teaching an artist how to protect their rights is worth far more than handing them a check. As we step into early 2026, E40 shows no signs of slowing down. Even as a West Coast rap legend, he's still dropping new singles and collaborating with today's hottest artists. According to Apple Music, 2025 alone saw his name on multiple releases: Crash Out, You Feel Me, Show Out Too Much, and Gang Gang Gangland, all pulling strong streams across digital platforms. Among them, You Feel Me, a collab with Larry June and Cardo Got Wings, stood out as a laid-back yet unmistakably West Coast anthem. 2025 wasn't just about new music, it was a celebration of legacy. In June, E40 performed at the 30th anniversary of In a Major Way, the album that took him from underground roots to mainstream recognition. This wasn't just nostalgia, it was a reminder that E40's influence remains real, respected by fans and critics alike. Appearances on Tiny Desk and ongoing international media attention reinforced the point. E40 isn't resting on his past. In an era when many veteran artists coast on old hits, he's still exploring new creative ground, pushing his artistry, and staying relevant. His continued presence doesn't just strengthen his music career, it shows a long-term commitment to impact and legacy. So, what's E40's greatest legacy? Is it the music, the business empire, or the fact that he's survived and thrived for over 30 years in hip-hop? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss future deep dives into the stories of hip-hop legends. There's still so much more to uncover: resilience, legacy, and the truths behind the culture. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.